Before we start talking about the nature of the disciple, uh, we just mentioned a little bit about just what you did just now. So you sat for 15 minutes in meditation. And I'm just going to say a nutshell so that when you're sitting out wherever you sit and you're trying to figure out what is this meditation, what am I doing, how do I get through this, there's really some very simple things to remember. One is you say to yourself, be simple. And you always have to be highly analytical. So the word be simple, well, it's just simple, doesn't mean that much. You have to really, really, really study the word simple. Go into a dictionary and look up, 10 different dictionaries to see what it means. And then think about it in your own life. What does simple mean? Don't just assume the surface meaning. Don't assume the surface meaning. If you do that, you miss the boat. You really do. Think deeply about what it is to be simple. And then the second is be still. Same analytical process. What is stillness? What is the nature of stillness? Stillness is also spaciousness. If you say, well, where is there stillness? Well, there's stillness here, there's stillness there, there's stillness there. See? You have to say, okay, what is the phenomenon? What is its nature? See? So stillness is a pervasive condition. Just like silence is a pervasive condition. There's no difference between stillness and silence. None at all. See? The third thing is to be aware. See? Be simple, be still, be aware. So when you're sitting in your meditation, you're not dreaming. See? You're holding on to a still silence, and you're paying attention. You're deeply paying attention. What is the nature of phenomena? What is constant and what is changeable? See? You have to find what's constant in you. And you have to be aware of what's constantly changing. See? The constantly changing is not you. See? It's just the flow of phenomena. It's just the flow of stuff. It may be stuff that you like, stuff that you don't like, but the very fact that it's coming and going, it's not you. So, be simple, be still, be aware. If you learn that much, you'll know a whole lot about the science of meditation. Be simple, be still, be aware. That's not hard to learn, to forget. You'll remember that. It's important. So we sat practicing those three qualities. And then when you emerge out of that, you chant Om. The meditation leads you to the infinite reality, the infinite stable reality. When you arise out of your meditation and chant Om, what you're doing is you're evoking the divine manifestation of creation. The root of all manifestation is Om. Om. See? So you're recognizing, honoring, and invoking the divine seed of creation itself. All this is God. See? That's when you're chanting Om, that's what you're saying. All this is God. The root of everything here is God. See? So, on a psychic level, by chanting that, you're reinforcing that consciousness within yourself. In the beginning, we're just going Om, 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 and it's just sort of a nice sound. But as you go deeper, you'll have deeper realizations that Om will lift you to a deeper internal vision of the nature of existence. See? Yeah, it's not just a pleasant sound. It is a pleasant sound, but it's a sound that leads you into deeper and deeper and deeper realizations. The very Shakti Kundalini within your being, that atomic storehouse in the base of your spine, by chanting Om over time, it awakens and it rises up. And as it rises up, various gradations of mystical experience, of deeper insight, of deeper divine intimacy occur within your being. See? So that alchemy is there. That alchemy is there for everyone. It's just that as you're chanting, especially with Om, or mantra in general, but Om in particular, the body should become like a bell. It's not just coming out of the throat. When you chant, the whole being should ring like a bell. The whole being should ring like a bell. And again, as you're doing that, you're still practicing those three principles of be simple, be still, be aware. So that as this arising of the Shakti Kundalini occurs, you're tuned in. See? Because you're paying attention, you'll catch the subtlety and then the dynamism of what's occurring, as opposed to just always staying on your surface mind. See? So, really, the truth is, profound mysticism is really open to everybody. But we have to get used to diving deep, as opposed to just staying on the surface mind. And then the key is the relentless persistence. If your practice is choppy, it's like building a house. Well, I'll work a few hours here, and a month goes by. Oh, I'll work a few more hours there. Well, when's the house going to get built? If every now and then you show up and put in a little bit of time and then go out for a latte, it's not going to happen. All the time that you're away from the structure, the weather is blowing down the house. The vandals are coming and doing some mischief. And you've got to start over. So be simple, be still, be aware. But really, maybe in our next time, come back and tell me your analysis of that. Because you have to do a real analysis. Don't just hear and assume. Hear and then dig deep. Then you'll learn a lot. You yourself will be able to give a satsang on each one of those principles. See? Okay. I just said these few things only because it just came to mind when we're sitting. That maybe the significant dynamics of what we've just done in sitting for 15 minutes can be a deeper appreciation. And then you could also understand the tools of advancement. See? These are tools of advancement.
Hey, can I interject just
Yes, ma'am.
something I think you said back a ways that helped me understand Om and how it works
Yeah.
as a sound. You said that if you have a piece of glass with some sand on it, and you put a sound under the piece of glass, different sounds,
Yeah.
it will create different patterns
Yeah.
with the sand.
That was a long time ago.
It was, but it has stuck with me, and it's very helpful.
Yeah.
So now when I visualize doing Om, I have this visualization of my molecules or cells or whatever getting in that formation.
That's actually correct.
That's okay. So I wanted to make sure
Oh,
that
definitely.
was the right. Okay.
Oh, definitely. What Susan is referring to, this is a dialogue we had many years ago. Mantra makes you like itself. So when you're chanting mantra, the very fabric of your being, the very fabric of your subtle being, and also your gross being, and also the pranas, are all imbibed with that vibration. So by chanting a mantra, you really are setting up a subtle vibrational structure. And each mantra will set up a different subtle vibrational pattern within you that becomes resident in you. So why do they say practice mantra over and over and over and over, year after year after year? Because you're establishing a particular vibrational pattern within you. And then that vibrational pattern has a sympathetic and a direct relationship with the kingdom itself, with an energy of the kingdom. So by constantly chanting Om, you imbibe the Om principle in you, you imbibe the Om pattern within you, and then there's a cup for the cosmic Om to manifest here. See? To manifest in a way that is personal, that is intimate, that is direct, that is understandable. See? The energy is there. But until we can create a pattern within us and then become sensitive to the pattern, it goes by unknown. See? We have to move these vibrational patterns from the unknown to the known. From the distant to the intimate. See? So it creates that pattern within us, and then as it establishes it in us, there's a greater awareness and understanding of that energy itself. See? But you're absolutely correct. It establishes a vibrational pattern within your psyche. See? Just like a thought is a pattern, a psychic pattern. This is a higher pattern. This is a pattern that directly reflects the nature of the kingdom, or an energy of the kingdom, or an element of the kingdom. See? It's important to understand these details. It's not just saying something. You're actually creating something within yourself. You're creating a receptive vehicle within yourself. See? It's important. A lot of times people are chanting Om, 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 or some mantra, but don't realize what they're actually doing. They're creating that energy pattern within themselves. So as above, so below. And then it makes itself manifest through this vehicle. See? So these are all really, really interesting things. The principle of the discussion today is yoga and discipleship. It's a huge topic, and it's a topic that unfortunately is generally profoundly misunderstood. Unfortunately. Another unfortunate situation is that a good deal of the people who call themselves disciples are not. They sort of, again, assume a very loose definition and assign it to themselves, not for the reasons that true disciples function, but on their own uninformed psychodynamics. They say, oh, I am a disciple of so-and-so. God bless you, good luck. Generally not so. Generally not so. All human beings will eventually become disciples. That's part of the evolutionary arc of the human condition. This discipleship is a phase that we all pass through. But before that comes, there's a general disinterest, which is a phase. Just general disinterest. Wine, women, and song. That's a common human phase. Then when a certain amount of dissatisfaction, is that the correct word?
Dissatisfaction.
That's the word. Dissatisfaction, thank you. When a certain amount of dissatisfaction occurs, then you start to look around and say, is there something more? Because I don't feel so good, and I need something to make me feel better. So that is an aspirant. They start to look around, aspire, because sort of the earth beneath their feet is shaking, and things in their life are heading south. So they start to say, I better find some medicine to ease my woes, my difficulties. So they become an ashram. Means they start to look around for a safe spot to sit. You know, if they, over time, that aspirant will see some teacher, some yogi, some saint, some dharma teacher, some master, and then they'll become, that teacher will help me. So they become a devotee. See? They're becoming a devotee not because they want God. See? They're becoming a devotee because they see the teacher as some form of medicine to ease their common worldly woes. See? So they become a devotee. They're not a disciple yet. They're a devotee. You know, and the guru or the dharma teacher is just some temporal medicine to alleviate their, whatever pain they're suffering. See, they're still not looking for God. They're looking for a tablet to ease some sorrow. And as soon as that sorrow's gone, they're gone also. So you'll see them jumping from teacher to teacher to teacher to teacher to teacher. So this day they had a toothache. This day they had a headache. This day they had a backache. So they go to this teacher. They go to that teacher. See, they're not looking for God yet. They're just looking for, when they have a problem, they're looking for medicine. So they'll bounce around to teacher. Oh, this day I'm studying with the Native Americans. Oh, that day I'm studying with the Zen teachers. Oh, this day I want to see what Tibetan Buddhism has. Oh, there's a yogi over here. Nothing. See, they're not serious. They're still children. Not bad, not good. They're just children. So they're bouncing around, just taking various forms of medicine from different teachers. But again, they're not looking for God at all. They're looking for pleasure. They're looking for comfort. They're looking for adventure. They're looking for, a list of worldly activities. Later on, as the disciple goes through birth as the soul goes through birth after birth of incarnation, they've had enough experiences in life where they come to a point where they say, "Oh my God, I got to find something stable." I've had many houses, I've had wealth, I've had poverty, I've had beautiful women, I've had regular women. I've done everything. There's got to be something more. I've had all the promotions. I've lost all the jobs. There's got to be something stable. So, at that point, they're starting to get a little bit more serious because they've been shaped and baked so much that they just figure there's got to be a better way. So, the soul starts to apply. Oh, Guruji, may I be your disciple? Guruji, may I be your disciple? So they're running around to the various Dharma teachers, saying, can I be your disciple? And if they're unfit, the Guru will just pronounce it, son or daughter, not yet. Means that they have to be shaped and baked more. They're not really serious yet. Or when they reach a certain level of maturity and seriousness where there isn't a certain level of fire in their belly, then the teacher says, come walk with me. Let's talk. Now you have to realize, just because a person applies, and then the teacher looks at them and has some compassion for them, so he says, come walk with me. Let's talk. Let's spend some time together. It doesn't mean that person is truly fit. It just means that the teacher has the heart of a mother and sees a wounded child. So he says, okay, come with me. So you have three levels of disciples, 3 general levels, and within each level there's 3. You have tamasic disciple, you have a rajasic disciple, and you have a sattvic disciple, meaning tamasic is crude, it's base, it's less than common, full of unpleasant qualities. That's tamasic, unpleasant qualities. The rajasic is a mixture. They're very anxious, they're running left, they're running right. Sometimes they're sweet, sometimes they're not so sweet, sometimes they're pleasant, sometimes they're really rude, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're really bad. They're just a big cocktail. The rajasic disciple is a masala. He or she is just a total mix of all kinds of qualities. The sattvic disciple, those are the special ones. Those are the ones that have acquired some level of balance, some level of serenity, some level of insight, some significant level of seva to the guru. And they know why they're there. The other two don't know why they're there. But the sattvic disciple knows that this is a search for God. They know for sure. Now, I'm going to do some politic real so that you understand what really is the situation. The gurus will have all of these three levels of disciples. That tamasic disciple is a demon. They're full of really wicked qualities. They have pride, they have greed, they have cruelty. If you look in the scriptures of India, you'll see that the masters didn't all just have wonderful devotees, all great disciples. Nonsense. You had demons, you had asuras, and you had noble souls. If you look at Sri Krishna, one disciple is Arjuna, the other disciple is Duryodhana. One was greedy, cruel, adharmic. The other was noble and dharmic. But Krishna availed himself to both. He would assist either. He blessed both. So one shouldn't think, the disciples are just, wonderful souls. No, you have some disciples that are virtual demons. In the Ramayana, Ravana was always doing Shiva Puja. See? He was doing puja to the gods. But he was doing the puja with selfish intent. See? Because he propitiated God, many blessings came. Whether he was propitiating, Vishnu or propitiating Shiva, which he did. He did all these wonderful pujas. But he did the pujas with lower intent. The gods blessed him, but his nature was not so good. His nature was tamasic. See? Cruel. So when you go to the various temples and ashrams, you have to realize every level of soul is there. Not just good people. You've got people who are there for also the wrong reasons, who also have been accepted. See? Some are accepted because they're fit. Some are accepted because they're so unfit. The guru says, well, who else will help them? If I don't help them, who else will help them? The world will abandon this soul. So like a mother, they're taken in. See? In the temples and ashrams, in generally speaking, you'll see two types of souls, just generally speaking. One type of soul wants to do something. Now that's a positive thing. They want to do service. They want to serve the teacher. They want to maintain the place nicely. They want to help to spread the Dharma. That's the noble ones. Then you have the other side. There's always two sides of a coin. You want then the soul who wants to be something. I want to be a great disciple. I want to be a manager. I want to be the head of the board. Then quietly, I want to be the guru. Oh my God. Oh my God. Forgive them. They are full of every kind of wicked mischief. Every form of wicked mischief. Every form of deviousness. Beware of the ones that want to be something. They're very dangerous. They're very, very dangerous. But you should understand, those are the types of disciples that are there. See? The wicked ones, they're not really bad. They're confused and they're profoundly needy. See? A more developed disciple will look at the scriptures and say, head on, and drink in that knowledge and apply that wisdom. They'll have a greater dependence on the inner nature of Guru and the inner nature of their own being. So when they're sitting within themselves, but also sitting with the Guru, with the Master, with the Saint. So that soul is not grasping so much because they already have something stable. The teacher has taught them, be simple, be still, be aware. So if they're practicing be simple, be still, be aware, the nature of the inner Guru and the realization of the outer Guru will become present. They'll get it. If someone is not listening to the Guru and saying, well, the Guru said this, but you know what? This works better. I'll do that. See? That's their own ego, their own arrogance. See? That's a tamasic quality, low quality. To think that their insight trumps the Dharma teacher's insight. That their life experience trumps the Dharma teacher's life experience. That arrogance. See? So they may put on the white robes and talk sweetly, but they truly are the sheep. The wolf in sheep's clothes. So I'm saying these things because you have to analyze where you are on the spectrum of ascent. Are you a aspirant, or are you disinterested? Just a common human being, interested in the common things of life? Or are you an aspirant? Or have you gone further and become a devotee? Or have you gone further saying, I know there's something stable. I know that I can have a deeper vision and fuller life. So from that devotee going to a disciple. And then you have to ask yourself, well, what level of disciple? Well, I've now found a real saint. I've now found a real yogi. But what are you looking for? Sometimes people will go to the saints and the yogis because they say, wow, there's a lot of power there. Oh, I see wealth coming into the temple. I want some of that power. I want some of that wealth. I want some of that name and fame. See, so they'll become a disciple for that reason. Because they have an inadequacy in them. And they're trying to fill it because, why do you rob the bank? And they said, well, that's because where the money is. See? So people will seek out the teachers because that's where the name is. That's where the fame is. That's where the shine is. See? Again, a tamasic disciple is not coming for God. They're coming to fill, they have a worldly vision and they're applying it to a saintly circumstance. See? A worldly vision applied to a saintly circumstance. It's okay. This is natural. This is nature. Is it unpleasant? Yes. But it's the way of the world. See? But really, anyone who becomes a disciple is blessed. Because the moment you become a disciple, there is a way out of suffering. There absolutely is a way out. You've actually come to a door, to a gate that will get you out. It's a question of time, a question of application. how much time and how much will you apply yourself to make the advancement from tamasic disciple to rajasic disciple to sattvic disciple. See? But you'll make that advancement. Birth after birth after birth. This is not a one-shot deal. There's many, 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 many births of application, of practice, so that you purify. And as you purify, you'll have a deeper insight and deeper personal sanctity and deeper personal experience with the divine. See? In the beginning as a disciple, you're often applying for the wrong reasons, because you're taking a worldly model and applying it to a saintly circumstance. So you're a tamasic disciple. But after a while, as the many births, you start saying, well, I came for this reason, but I see there's actually some things that are more, some things that are better. You know, there really is, people can really be kind to me. People can really love me. So they start to become more stable. They're still up and down, but they're coming for different, they're not coming for fame now, they're not coming for gold now, they're not coming for praise. They're mixed, you know, better. And then as they slowly move closer to the teacher and spend more and more time, they start thinking, well, I was confused before, but this fellow is actually making sense. And I actually feel good being here. I don't know why I feel good, but I definitely feel better when I'm around him, so I come more and more and more. See? So that rajasic person is now becoming a little more purified. And then all of a sudden, they say, oh my God, the heart of that yogi is something different than I've seen before. See, now they're getting some real insight. They're not looking at, oh, he has a bald head and a yellow garment. They say, oh, there's something about that consistency in his heart. For some reason, he always likes me. For some reason, he's always saying something kind. For some reason, he's always saying, come with me. Nobody else has done that. But he's consistently saying, come with me. Let's talk. Let's have tea. Who else has done that? So bit by bit, there's a more purification. And bit by bit, they're starting to see the heart of the yogi and not the form of the yogi. In the earlier days, they say, oh, look at that fellow. He's sitting up high, and so many people are praising him, you know, but they're looking with worldly eyes. See? Later on, they'll say, there is something very different about that soul's heart. I always feel good. And ever since I've been with him, my headaches have gone away, my backache's gone away, my emotional trauma has gone down. You know, something wonderful is happening to that. I don't know what it is, but God is doing something. And now they're starting to utter the word God. There's a God. I don't understand it yet, but there's a God, and something is coming through that soul. Good. They're making progress. Now I'll tell you a little story. A fellow applies to a saint. He says, hey, Guruji, I've been watching you. I don't understand what you're doing, but I know it's good. Can I become your disciple? Okay, son. Come with me. I have a project. So they walk for days. And then they finally come to a region, this beautiful hill, and there's a river down below, and there's a wonderful vista and fresh air. And the Guruji says, hey, we'll call the disciple Vijay. Means victory. Hey, Vijay. This is a beautiful spot. I want to build an ashram on this spot. Okay, you see down the river, there's many stones down there. All the stones you need are in that river. Build a small ashram here. I'm going to go. I have work to do. There's many disciples I have to visit. But I'll come back in 1 year. Please have this wall built and have this ashram put together for me. Ah, yes, Gurudev, yes, Gurudev. Tatastha, Guruji says, God bless you. So the Guruji heads off. And the fellow is going up and down the hill carrying these stones and building the stone wall and building a stone kutir so they can have a small ashram there. And as the days go by and the weeks go by, the disciples think, hey, why am I the only one doing all this building? This is sort of a lot of work. You know, I sort of like that Guruji, but I'm not sure. Is he really a guru? What am I doing up here? I'm working so hard. No one is paying me. No one is paying even any attention to me. Is he really a Guruji? What am I doing up here? So he's in a state of real confusion. Why am I working so hard? For what? I don't know. So he's suffering now because he's doing all this hard work and he doesn't know if the Guruji is a Guruji. So eventually the master comes back and he says, hey Vijay, you've done a very good job. You've worked very hard. The disciple was saying, oh my God, thank goodness. This fellow is back. I didn't know if he's coming or going, if he's going to abandon me here. I don't know if he's a guru, what is he? But then the Guruji says, you know what? I'm not sure. Something is not right. Hey, Vijay, this building is placed in the wrong spot. Take this building and put it over there. This is not correct. It's a beautiful job, but it's not correct. Build it over there. I'll be back in a year. Oh my God. BJ is like, what? Okay, Guruji. Okay. Well, Guruji heads off. There's many disciples I have to see. I'll be back in a year. So the fellow is taking down this stone, dragging it over there, taking another stone. Oh God, this is going on months, and he's getting really frustrated. Oh my God. He told me here, now he's saying there. What's going on here? I can't bear this. Every stone feels heavier than the next. So, oh my God, he's suffering again. Now he has tremendous frustration. Then finally the Guruji comes back and is like, thank God, this fellow is finally back. I am so frustrated, I can scream. The only reason I haven't run away is because I can cool my head off in that river down below. And it's so pretty here. My God. Oh, Gurudev, God bless you. Thank you for coming back. You know what? You've done a wonderful job. I love that wall. I love the kutir. Oh, where you've placed the shrine is very beautiful. But something's not right. Something is wrong. Which way does the wind come from? Where does the sun rise? Where is the forest? Everything has to be right. We have to have the energy properly aligned. Something's not right. The Guru says, you know what? It'd be better over there. This disciple, Vijay, almost falls down. He's like almost crying. He's killed himself. And Guruji says, don't worry. That is the best placement over there. And the poor Vijay doesn't know what to say. His eyes are open, his mouth is dropped, his hairs are standing on end. And he's just flabbergasted. And the Guruji says, God bless you. I'll be back in a year. Off the Guruji goes. I'll be back in a year. I have many disciples to see. Now, the disciple Vijay is left by himself. And now he's angry. What kind of Guruji is this I'm serving? I'm left here again by myself. No company, no friends, no support. No teaching? Where's the Dharma? He hasn't taught me anything. He just said, move this stone here, move that stone there, build a wall here, and his head is hot. Oh my God, again, this poor disciple is suffering. And he's fuming every day as he carries these rocks. The rocks are getting hot because he's so hot in his head. And he finally builds this structure. And he has to go to the river every day to cool his head off because he's just going nuts with anger. Saying, this can't be a guru. He hasn't taught me anything. Oh my God. And then month goes by. Next month goes by. Next month goes by. But he's working so hard that he's starting to cool off a little bit. Because he's too tired to be angry. He's first fuming, but now he's too exhausted. So he sort of gives up on the anger and just starts to work. He says, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who I am anymore. You know? But I'm getting to be a pretty good house builder. And I can build some really nice walls. You know? But I don't know anything. I haven't learned any Dharma here. And then, as time goes by, he's just now working for the sake of working. He's saying, God, Guruji, I don't know where he is. But I know, God, you're somewhere above me. So I'm going to just do the work. I'm here for you. He's left me alone. I think I have his blessing, but I don't know. So, God, I know people pray to you. Let's just work together. No one else is here but you, Guruji, and God. God above, Guruji somewhere else. Okay. We're friends, we're companions. Stay with me. So he starts to cool out. Because now he's thinking about God because he's got nothing else to think about other than moving these heavy stones. And then finally, the year goes by. And he sees, what is that down the hill coming up? Some light. He says, you know, today the air seems something funny, something different, something pleasant. And what are those scents? I smell flowers. This is such a lovely place. And bit by bit he's watching carefully and he sees, that Guruji is coming back up the hill.
Oh no. He's going to move it again.
He finally the Guruji comes up the hill. And he says, hi, Vijay, how are you? Long time, I haven't seen you. You've done such a beautiful job. And now this time, Vijay, in the beginning, you know, he had confusion. And then he had agitation. And then he had frustration. And then he had anger. Now, he was so tired, and he had gone through all this stuff that all he did is lay down and pranamed. He said, Vijay, my son, now we're prepared to study. You are now peaceful now. You're very strong and robust. You have the energy for yoga. You've burnt out your confusion. You've burnt out your frustration. You've burnt out your anger. Come, my son. Let's start the Upanishads. Finally, this fellow was made fit to start to study. Let me teach you mantra. Let me teach you meditation. Let's see what the great rishis of the past have said through the scripture. Okay. Now this fellow Vijay now has gone from tamasic to rajasic to more sattvic. He is now saying, oh God. And he's relying just on God and Guru for the knowledge. But before that, he wasn't really fit. So many of the karmas had to be burnt out through hard work. You know, his sense of confusion. Is there a God? Is the Guru real? I don't know. But now, through his frustration and his confusion, he's just given up. He's surrendered. See? He went through a process of surrender after going through confusion, after going through frustration, after going through anger. when he's burnt all of that out, finally there's, oh God, and he surrenders. So that full pranam before the teacher. The teacher says, his heart has been purified. He's now ready. See? That's our story. You know? First, we look at the Dharma teachers and think, I don't know what that guy is. Is he real? Is he not real? I have no idea. And they don't treat the teachers very well. They don't have any they don't have any culture. You know? Later on, well, he said this, but I feel this, and I'm right, and I don't think he's so correct. They say he knows so much, but I don't think so. All that conflict and confusion is in them. And then later on they say, that Guruji told me this. I don't like it. And they're angry at him. He said do so many pranams. He said do so many mantras. I don't think so. You know, I know more than him. You know, I think he's really a rogue. See? This is what really happens. This is the true story. So they're angry. He told me don't bother with that girl. Was he out of his mind? You know? He told me study this. I don't have time for that. So there's anger. You know, there's a lot of anger. They look at that Guruji and say, I'd like to punch him in the nose. I'm so frustrated. See? This is what people go through. You know? You hear people bad-mouthing Dharma teachers and gurus all the time. It's not necessarily the guru or Dharma teacher did anything. It's that their own inner agitation has reached a point of boiling, so now they're angry. The Guruji is trying to remove an abscess. You know, you have to lance the boil sometimes, and sometimes it's painful, but that pollution is in them, and it has to come out. It can't stay. So sometimes getting next to a Dharma teacher or a guru is like getting next to a hot pot. You know? Not so pleasant. You know? But it will lance the boil. It will bring about a fever to remove the impurities in the system. See? So you have to detox. If you want health, you have to detox. So this hidden rubbish is in the disciple. And coming next to the teacher to bring it out and to neutralize it. See? So sometimes your immediate association, getting close to the Guru, is not so pleasant. Because you have to go through your own psychic detoxification. All of your confusions, all of your frustrations, all of your angers that you've been hiding inside of yourself have to be acknowledged and released. And then the only time you're fit for study is when there's some level of surrender. See? Without surrender, what study? You know, you're still approaching the subject with arrogance, thinking you know. You know? Big mistake. Big mistake. So, discipleship is not easy. You know? Think of the souls who followed Master Jesus. Was it easy for them? Or was their life on the line every day they woke up next to this guy? They were risking it all. They were risking imprisonment, they were risking death, they were risking everything. Life, limb, property, by following this master. See? So inherent in the study, the disciple has to learn self-sacrifice and surrender. See, so that Vijay was doing self-sacrifice, carrying all these river stones up the hill and building. He was sacrificing. It was very difficult. See? And eventually he just had to surrender, be peaceful, accept God, accept Guru as God's agent. He just had to full pranam, your will, your way, and be good with it. You know, not my will, my way. That's the arrogant soul. But the high soul, your will, your way. God's will and God's way. That has to be inscribed in the heart of every high disciple. They have to accept God's will, God's way. See? Very, very important. Now, if we're going to look at the qualities of a disciple, see, there's certain qualities that a guru must have. Must have. No equivocation. But there's also certain qualities a disciple must have. And I'm going to enunciate these things so you can figure out how much of that stuff that you have, so that you know what you have to build into your own character. See? So that you can go from one level of disciple to the next level to the next level. The first quality that a disciple must develop is a desire for truth. He or she must desire truth wherever it leads them, and come what may. See? You have to want, and truth means God. Truth and God are synonymous. Truth, God, reality, they're all synonyms here. We're not talking about your personal truth. If we want your personal truth, go to a therapist. If you want the truth, go to a yogi. See? There's a big difference. One will placate your ego and make you a little bit healthier. The other will get you admittance to the kingdom. So the first quality of any true disciple is a relentless desire for the truth. Come what may, wherever it may lead. See? You have to divest yourself of your personal ideas, your personal predilections, your personal view of life. You have to say, I'll follow truth wherever it is, regardless of what I think or regardless of what I feel. I want the truth. Okay? That's a mark of a real disciple, where they're really looking for truth, and they're not looking for a validation of their own egoic notions. Okay? Then, in your bones, you have to just acquire the nature of helpfulness. You know, you see, an old lady crossing the street, you offer your arm. You know, you see a child who's fallen down, you just say, let me help you up, and say a good word. You know, you just learn in your bones to be helpful, to be useful. You know, there's a lot of people that go to ashrams, and they're not going to ashrams for God and Guru. They're going to ashrams to sort of hide out. And they lean back. And they say, oh, this is a nice environment. But they're not useful. They're not helpful. They're just basically hiding from the world. Oh, this is a pleasant place. You know, no thorns. You know. A real disciple is a person who is busy trying to improve things. You know, trying to be helpful. Whether it's a lot of seva, or a kind word, or a decent disposition where you're being thoughtful and helpful to other people. This is necessary. You cannot be a disciple and be a lazy person. It is just not possible. You know, a real disciple, if they see a need, they go off to fill the need. They say, what can I do? That's in them. They're always saying, what can I do? How can I help? That's in the bones of every disciple. How can I help? See? They don't see a problem and say, well, somebody else will take care of that. They see a problem and say, how can I address it? How can I do something? Large or small, their nature is, how can I help? See? So now it's the relentless seeking of the truth. Then there's this helpfulness. Then another great quality of every disciple, whether it's hidden or it's obvious, is compassion. That compassion means that they have the ability to think beyond themselves, to feel beyond themselves. When they see some sorrow or they see some suffering, that they have an empathy. See? They actually see the sorrow. See? They see the suffering. A regular human clod is just thinking about themselves. They don't see the sorrow of others. They don't see the, suffering of others. They don't see it. They don't feel it. They don't experience other people's suffering. So they're very non-responsive. Every disciple, let me tell you the truth, every guru has the heart of a mother. Every guru's heart is 100% feminine. I'm telling you the exact truth. And the disciple is gathering that nature also. They're gathering a feminine heart where they have empathy. See? They have compassion. So they see the suffering of others. They say the prayers for their welfare. And then they quietly, secretly, hiddenly, or overtly seek to lift that person. See? So with the compassionate awareness, they seek to alleviate suffering. One way or the other, it's in their bones. Okay? Another quality that you must have or you must cultivate as a disciple is relentless courage. You cannot be a disciple without fierce courage. These are things that you have to develop over time, where you say, I will pursue God come what may. See? I will do what is necessary as per God's will, come what may. See? You can't be fearful of life. You must challenge life. The Guru says, do these sadhanas, do this puja, do this, go on this holy pilgrimage. When you go on a pilgrimage, you can't think that the earth is going to be strewn with rose petals for you to walk on. The pilgrimages are often very arduous, in distant places, under difficult conditions. See? You can't say, oh, my feet are too soft. I'm not going. You can't do that. Well, if you can, you're a lower order. You're a lower order of disciple. The Guruji says, do this meditation, do these pujas. And in meditation, all of these various conditions arise. You must face it. There's no such thing as having these conditions arise and you saying, I'm going to retire. No way. You have to face whatever is in you, both common and extraordinary. You must face it. You must face it straight on. Straight on. No backing away. See? Yes, I'm listening.
Can you give us an example in your discipleship of when you faced something that you didn't want to face? And how you did that?
That's a good question. Well, speaking in my own biography, I can't say my masters asked me to do a million different things, but on an ordinary level in terms of work, I didn't care what he asked me to do. I was really happy to do it. Really. I mean, at large or small, sweep the floors or go rebuild a building, I was more than delighted to be of service. So I didn't have the lazy gene in me. And I was really, personally, I was always excited that I could be of some use. But you can say on a different level, on an inner mystical level, there's many inner mystical experiences that are of a unimaginably dynamic level, where you can experience states of great fear only because the nature of the phenomena is so extraordinary, so out of the ordinary, that your hair will go white, literally. There's infinite types of experiences as you ascend. And you have to have the courage to face those experiences. So the Guruji says, do this meditation, do this particular mantra, do this particular pranayama, and then these various types of experiences arise, which are unimaginably overwhelming. The very fact that you go back the next day, a normal human being is going to say, no way, that was too much, it scared the life out of me, I'm not going back. But if you have true confidence in your master, your Guruji, whatever has arisen, regardless of the extraordinary nature or the fearful nature of the experience, the very next morning you get up, you do the prayers, you do the pranayams, you do the concentration, and you go again. See?
But did your guru give you a task in order to help you also lose rubbish or deep talks? I mean,
Oh, sure.
That you had to push through, that you had to let go, that you recall.
Well, the Guruji, whatever the Guru is, they're always giving you sort of micro advice. Mm-hmm. They're very kind. I mean, depending on the type of disciple, the type of tool you use to educate them is different. Mm-hmm. If a student is psychic skin is like that of a bull, you need a very strong prod, to get it to move. A Rajasic one, you might need a little fire. Hey, you, don't be lazy. Get up and get this done. For another type of disciple, it's done with a whisper and a fragrance. It's just a quiet word. And the disciple understands immediately. So in this birth, because I've been with my master for so many births, it's more of a whisper. It's not that I wasn't tamasic at some time and rajasic at some time. I certainly was. I certainly was. But now it's a whisper, or a fragrance, and I understand. So, but I wasn't chastised very much at all. But one time, I was making a judgment about some fellows who were of a very crude nature. And my Guruji, and this is a rare event for me personally, but he very sternly and very directly said, Haricharan, who are you to judge? That was the teaching right there. He's absolutely right. So in my heart, in my mind, in my being, full pranam, I have no right to judge. Who am I? He's absolutely right. At some time, some birth, I'm full of mischief, cruel, crude. That's been my history in past births. I didn't come out of jail. We all start as coal, and eventually we become a diamond. But it takes time, pressure, cultivation. So, we all have some imperfections, and you're not finished till you're finished. So there's the occasional, Haricharan, pay attention, release this unpleasant nature. Of course, that's there, and it's just it's a wake up. I was slipping back into the muck and mire. See, wake up. That's what the teacher is saying. Wake up. Pay attention. Meaning Be aware of your solar reality. Be aware of the message of the saints through the scriptures. Don't drift back into your personal maya, your personal egotism, your personal drama. Hold on to the message of the saints. Hold on to the presence of the soul. Hold on to the feet of the master. See? When your grip starts to loosen up, they remind you. See? So, we all have to acquire a relentless courage to pass through whatever our challenges are. Whether it's a worldly challenge, like overcoming laziness, something like that, or lack of compassion, or challenging to show up again to these various events, internal mystical events, even though they may be, some of them are unimaginably beautiful and unimaginably wonderful, and some of them are unimaginably fierce, a level of unimaginable power that is not conceivable in this realm. That you return from that type of meditation and you have no idea why you still are alive. It is so off the charts in terms of experience that you have no idea why you weren't burnt into dust or something. I mean, and I am being so unbelievably literal. That's why I say sometimes it's like being cast into the sun itself. Can you imagine the power of the sun and you as a little being cast into it? Like that. And there's no puffery in what I'm saying. That's absolutely literal. The majesty and the power of God is off the charts. It is beyond conception. But as the human condition, we have to learn to embrace God fully. So you'll experience all what I would call the garments of God or the energies of God. And as in each one of those experiences are radical types of purifications and radical types of psychic expansion. And then, as per the grace of God and Guru, there'll come a day where there'll be complete acceptance, complete surrender to that reality. See? So you go through all of these gradations of experiences, greater and greater and greater expansions. But it's not always pleasant to the ego. Because, we like to see the world the way we see the world. And you're moving from seeing the world through your eyes to seeing the world through the vision of God. Big difference. See? How we see the world and how the reality is. So that courage must be there. Must be there. Then another great quality of every disciple that must be cultivated. And you're working on these cultivations birth after birth after birth. It's not one birth, I can get it. Nonsense. Just by being in the world, the dust of the world comes on you. So you must always wash. Psychically, you're always washing. So I can say, like, the fifth quality is the quality of humility. See? There's no disciple that really wants to shine. The disciple realizes that the Master and God are of such a magnificent, unimaginable beauty. We realize that we're just simple stones or grains of sand, in the presence of the sun. So there's a humility based on understanding. You really realize that, one is a piece of quartz and the other is a magnificent item, a magnificent gem, a gem of God. And we're still just a piece of quartz, It's a stone, So there's just a normal humility where when something grand is when you're in the presence of something wondrous and grand and just unimaginably of a sanctified nature, there's just a very natural pranam. No one teaches you to pranam. No one tells you to pranam. You bow. You just simply bow because it's the only action you can take. Because you're in the presence of such sanctity. See? So, and you realize you're in a blessed circumstance to be in the presence of such a condition. So there's a natural humility that it grows as your insight deepens. See, so you have pride and humility. They're the opposites. If you see a prideful yogi or prideful disciple, a lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done. I'll tell you the truth. If you have the great fortune to be with a master, my master is Sadguru Sant Keshavadas, who was the embodiment of the kingdom in the flesh. He was the real thing. All the cities, all the powers, were at his feet. He was, I call my Guruji the kiss of God upon the earth. That's what he was. The love of God upon the earth. That's what my master was and is. These are immortal beings. But once you live with them, and then you actually start to understand what they are, you can never really grasp what they are because we're still using our mind and they're beyond that. But if we're using the full facility of our mind and we're sort of getting to the best of our ability, the only thing that you can say when you're thinking of your master is yes and thank you. Yes, Guruji, to whatever you want. Your will, your way, yes. You are like 100% yes. And the other thing is, you are 100% thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Guruji, thank you, thank you. The grace of God, the rain of God, the touch of God, the breath of God has flowed upon you. What else can you say? Every fiber of your being is saying thank you. This miserable lot with 10,000 sins, you've touched, you've loved, you've blessed, you've lifted. All you can say is thank you. This undeserving soul, you've blessed in such a way. All you can say, the high disciple, yes and thank you. That's it. That's it that can come out of your being, is yes and thank you. You have won the lotto 1 billion times over by having the grace of a master. You are assured a seat in the kingdom. Your way has been made and your master has walked it. When you get to the kingdom, the gates are open. You just have to finish the walk. But the gates will be open and the master will be present, awaiting you. So to meet these souls are an unimaginable positive karma. But in order to take that walk, we have to develop these facilities that make ourselves fit. We are all to become the servants of the kingdom, servants of God itself. And the Dharma teachers and the saints and the masters and the high yogis, the Gurujis, they're all there to train us, to bring us into an apprenticeship. That apprenticeship will lead to mastery. See? But it is apprenticeship. How will you learn the knowledge of God and the ways of God? Who's there to teach you? See? If you want to be a citizen of the kingdom, don't you think you have to learn what it is to live that reality? To make that journey from a common human being to a citizen of the kingdom itself? Don't you think that there's a training that you must learn, qualities that you must embrace, a nature that you must fulfill? Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what discipleship is all about. Discipleship is an apprenticeship into your full sanctity. See? It's an apprenticeship into your full sanctity. That is what discipleship is. And you move from the uninformed to the fully informed. See? From the self-possessed to pure divine wonder, beneficence. See? Full divine beneficence. As opposed to the self-possessed. Me. To what has God not given you? God gave you your very next breath. See? God gave you every opportunity. All the senses you have to see, to hear, to breathe, to feel, to touch. All these senses to see the mundane and through those same facilities to experience the divine. See? Everything has been prepared for you. Everything has been prepared for you. The discipleship is to learn how to use everything as per the will of God. See? Not as per your own tiny ego, but as per the will of God. In sympathy, in harmony, in communion with God. Your sense of sight, your sense of taste, your sense of touch, your sense of hearing. All of these things in complete harmony, complete sympathy, in complete service to that kingdom. See? That's the apprenticeship that you're learning in this process of discipleship. See? You become an obedient soul. Now sometimes people think, oh, obedience, I don't want to follow anybody. Give me a break. Come on now. It is you're being obedient to your infinite, stable nature. You know, it's not. There's no other. There is no other. It's the purest wonder, the sanctified self. Your essential being, to be obedient to that, as opposed to being obedient to your corrupting ego, to your narrowness, to your smallness. See? Now we're obedient to our very petty habits, our inconsistent ideas, our inconsistent understandings. See? As opposed to learning to be obedient to infinite wisdom, infinite wonder, infinite love. See? That's what you're learning to be obedient to. You're learning to be obedient to your infinite, beneficent self. See? And the Gurujis are here to help you do that, to help you on that journey. See? So I think I've taught something about disciples today. Are there any thoughts or any questions? I'm sure there's other things in my head, but they haven't come to mind at this moment. Are there any thoughts?
I have a question.
Yes. Susan.
What's the difference between a devotee that's not ready for discipleship and a tamasic disciple? Meaning the low grade?
Devotee is the person that just wants some minor suffering to be alleviated. The devotee is not really yet looking for God. They've heard the word, so they'll use the terminology from time to time. But they're still going here, oh, I'm going to try crystals today. Oh, I'm going to try pranayama tomorrow. Oh, I'm going to try this teacher next week. They're still unstable. They're bouncing around a lot. They're looking for God. Well, they're looking for God, but you can say that, but really deeper, they want to feel good. They want pleasure. They want to remove some thorn in their being, you know. So they hear the name God will pull that thorn, but it's not that they're looking for God. They're looking for something to pull the thorn out of their psyche. See? It's okay.
The tamasic disciple wants to seek God, but just is...
Well, they know there's a God out there.
Okay.
But they still have a lot of psychic corruption. You know, so they're like seeking God because God means power, God means wealth, God means position. See, Tamasic disciple. They actually acknowledge that there is a God,
Okay.
but they're seeking it for the wrong reason. They want
But
the
the
power.
guru, because they seek God, the guru is willing to
Yeah,
give them his or her time. Yeah.
Yeah. The guru is a cosmic mother. They see that the soul actually has enough fire in the belly to make progress, but that their understanding and application is still extremely crude. But the masters bless everybody, not just the disciples, everybody. But everybody is at a different level of receptivity. See? So sometimes it's like the difference between pouring water on a sponge and pouring water on a stone. The stone, it just rolls right off. The sponge absorbs something. See? Mm-hmm. The average person that's disinterested and just running around the world, they're not interested. Mm-hmm. The guru and God is giving blessings every day to everybody. But they're not interested. Mm-hmm. You know, they're wrapped up in the very hard shell of their own ego. So it just rolls right off. It's like a hard nut. It just rolls right off. Okay. So the Tamasic disciple, they have strength, they have ability, but they have tremendous corruption still in their heart. You know, they want the power of God. See, that's what they're chasing after. See.
Mm-hmm. And that wouldn't turn a
They
guru
want to.
off.
They want to sort of challenge God in a way.
That wouldn't turn the guru off.
No, not at all.
Why am I going to spend time with this person?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. It's like saying, okay, you have this patient with this terrible malignant cancer, and you're a physician. It's your job. You know, you have compassion for them. You see that they have a life, they have vitality, but you also see there's a malignancy there that simply has to be removed. So, you know, if the baby runs out and rolls in mud, doesn't the mother come and wash it? Mm-hmm. Same thing. The guru loves the demonic disciple as much as he loves the sattvic disciple. There's no difference in how much he loves this. There's no separation like that. He loves that one, the Tamasic one, as much as the sattvic one. He loves them absolutely the same. There's no difference. It's just that this one is at this condition, this one's at this condition, this one's at this condition. But from the guru's perspective, there's no difference. See, the guru is seeing the cosmic soul within each soul, and then the armoring of the different gradations of ego. See? And his job is to just slowly, you know, by his presence, by his teachings, by his prayers, teaching the sadhanas, to slowly wear down the rubbish, you know, to slowly burn it away. And then what was, that rubbish will eventually become vibhuti, sacred ash. See? So there is redemption for all. There is a way for all. And the wonderful saying is, every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. Thank God. Every saint, you know, the saint was a rogue at one time. Mm-hmm. He wasn't always a saint. He came out of the mud like everybody else. You know? So there's redemption for all. And when if I say demonic, I'm not making a judgment. I'm just saying that's their present quality of activity. Very, very selfish, often cruel. But they have a future. God has put the gurus there as physicians to assist all people in their evolution wherever they are. See, wherever they are. But once they have enough fire in their belly to take on the challenges, regardless of their behavior, if they have that will, that fire in their belly, then you can, that same energy is the energy that they'll use in their own purification. But you have to have that level of fire in you. You know, if you're like, oh, come what may, let's sing Kumbaya, you're not yet ready. You need fire in your belly. You know, this is not an easy thing. See? If I say, let's climb Mount Everest, you need a certain level of, whether you're behaving good or behaving bad, you need a certain amount of willpower just to make the journey. You need a certain amount of fire just to make the journey. See? So if you have that level of fire, whatever the quality of your character, the Guruji can slowly help you transform. But you need the fire in your belly for the journey. See? Once that fire has reached a certain pitch, certain level of flame, then you can make the journey regardless of your current character. Your current character is just your current character. It's not your forever character. It's just where you are now. And the Guruji will slowly bring you along and teach you the various purifications. Birth after birth. You'll come home. He'll take you home. That's their job. Any other questions? Any other thoughts? Those discipleship sound so fierce. It's a little scary. The good thing is you are made for the journey. You know, that you are equipped, I see, that you're equipped to fulfill the journey. Though it may be daunting, just like climbing Mount Everest is daunting. But with the proper training, can you do it? Absolutely. Proper training, proper guidance, proper prayers, can you do it? Absolutely. Absolutely. This is the destiny of all human beings. This is not isolated to the few. This is every soul will make this journey. See? So, you know, evolution, spiritual evolution is going to happen. One way or the other. You're going to make that journey. See? And it's God has given you free will. So you choose. You have to choose the journey. And choose the amount of application, see, that you're going to apply. So depending on your personal choices, that'll depend on the speed of your evolution. You know, some births you just sort of plod along like a snail, and other births you'll move like a rocket. See, you know, some births are worth 100 births in one birth. See. You can make the evolutionary stride of 100 births in one birth, or 1,000 births in one birth, if you apply yourself. See, the pace is up to you by your choices and by your application. The gurus are there as the eternal guides to make sure that you have what you need. See, you have what you need, and they're a constant compass just to tell you the way of Dharma. So you find yourself, you find your way home. See? You break the delusion, the Maya, the confusion that you're living in, to clear vision, clear revelation. See? So that you find your way home. Any other thoughts, ideas about discipleship? Nima, any thoughts about discipleship? Questions? No. Anyone else? Wow. Okay. Either I've left everybody confused or left everyone understanding. Left everyone fearful. I don't know. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. We should always say, hey, Haricharan has gone through this. You should always have the feeling, if that guy can do it, I can do it. You know, definitely get that feeling. Don't think, oh, that guy is so far along. You know, forget that nonsense. That's nonsense. Always think, if that fellow can do it, I can do it. If that fellow can serve a master, one day I can serve a master. See? Get that in your belly. You know, because that's a fact. You know, that's a fact. There's no extraordinary being. There's just we're all at just different places of divine application. See, as per our past history. See, Everything is there for you. God has provided everything. Everything has been provided for you. It's just your choice of how and when, and your application. How hard you want to work. See, if the Guruji says, do 108 Gayatri mantras every morning, and you decide, okay, I'll do the Gayatri, but I'll do it 12 times. Well, okay, it's your choice, your application. The Guruji said one thing, you do another thing. Guruji's going to bless you no matter what. But, if you use your ego to trump the instructions, well, you'll be guided by your ego. You'll make pace. Your pace of advancement will be based on your ego, not upon what the Guruji says. See, the Guruji is giving you the most direct, the most speedy, the most efficient methodology. See, if you listen, you'll proceed along. You do your own thing. God bless. Good luck. See, so that obedience comes over time. And it's like the obedience of a doctor saying, please take this medicine. He's not trying to impose anything on you. The doctor is giving you medicine so that you get well. So he says, take this medicine at a certain time and such a dose. The Guruji is exactly the same thing. They're dispensing medicine so that you can efficiently regain your health. See? But if you think you know more than the physician who spent half of his life studying medicine and you've spent not even 2 minutes, and then you want to adjust the dosage and say what medicine you'll take and what medicine you won't take, that's the definition of ego. See? It's all up to you.